Select all expressions that are equivalent to this expression shown below. So to solve this, we're going to need to distribute this to, combine like terms, and just get this expression as simple as we can. And then we're going to do the same for each of these expressions and see which ones are equal. So I'm going to give myself some more room and start by rewriting that first expression. First thing we're going to want to do is distribute this 2, meaning it gets multiplied by each term inside. So 2 times negative 4x plus 2 times 6.1 and then I'm just adding on those other terms that we didn't change. We add 2 times negative 4x. It's going to be negative 8x plus 2 times 6.1. You'll find that that comes to be 12.2. I'm going to rewrite my other terms. And now I'm going to identify the like terms. I'll go squares around my constants, including the sign to the left. And I'll go circles around my x terms, including the sign to the left. All right, so now we're going to add what's in the squares here. We got negative 3.75 plus 12.2. These signs are different, so you need to subtract. You need to find the difference and take the sign of the larger number. So it's going to be positive because this 12 is bigger and it's positive. So we need to subtract. Come over here. 12.2 minus 3.75. Notice how I align the decimals. And I'm going to add a 0 here. We have 0 minus 5. Going to need to borrow. 10 minus 5 is 5. 1 minus 7, we're going to need to borrow. Becomes 11 now. 11 minus 7 is 4. Decimal just comes straight down. 1 minus 3, we're going to need to borrow. 11 minus 3 is 8. So our constant term, and we already determined that it is indeed positive. So it's a positive 8.45. Now let's evaluate what are our x terms. So we have a negative 8x and a negative 3.25x. Well, these signs are the same, so you're going to add them up. Of course, they're going to add up to be negative, and there's an x there, so I'm just putting this negative and this x here there right off the bat, because I already know it's going to be negative and it's going to be an x. So let's add these up. 8 and 3.25. 8 and 3.25. Notice I aligned the decimals again. I'm just adding zeros to make everything line up nicely. And there's our answer. Now let's set about seeing which one of these is equal, or which several of these are equal. All right, let's simplify this first expression. We're going to go through each one and find the ones that are equal to 8.45 minus 11.25x. I'm going to put boxes around my x terms here, including the sign to the left, and we just have one constant right there. We have 7x and a negative 2x. These signs are different, so you're going to subtract them and take the sign of the bigger number. So it's going to be positive. And we're going to go 7 minus 2, which is 5x plus 8.1. So we can see that this is not equal. So this one is not correct. Let's move to the next one. We got 8.45 minus 8x minus 3.25x. Gonna put a circle around my constant, boxes around my x's, and we have a negative 8x and a negative 3.25x. Those are both going in the same direction. They're both negative, so you add them up, and of course the sign will be negative. So it's going to be 11.25x. I'll briefly demonstrate that. I just added 3.25 to 8, and they're both negative, so the answer is negative. And then we have our constant, 8.45. So we see that these two are indeed equivalent. These are the same. So that one is correct. Notice though it says select all, so we need to check, or there might be some others. We have negative 1.75 minus 7.25x plus 6.1. Let's put squares around our constants and circles around our x's here. I'm just grouping them together. Moving to our third option, negative 1.75 minus 7.25 x plus 6.1. I'll go squares around my constants, including the sign to the left, and circles around my x terms. So we have two constants, a negative 1.75 and a positive 6.1. They're different signs, so you're going to subtract. Notice I aligned the decimals. I'll just add a 0 here. 0 minus 5, I need to borrow. 10 minus 5 is 5. 0 minus 7, I need to borrow. 10 minus 7 is 3. 5 minus 1 is 4. And as far as the sign for this goes, there's more positives, so it's going to be positive. So we have, this results in negative 7.25x plus 4.35, which we see is not equivalent to this. So this choice is incorrect. And onto our last option. We have a negative 11.25x plus 12.2 minus 3.75. We just have the one x term, and I'll put squares around my constants, and I'll put a circle around my x term. Of course, I'm including the signs to the left each time. And so let's combine these two constants. We have a positive and a negative, so those are different. We're going to subtract and take the sign of the bigger number. So it's going to be a positive. So 12.2 minus 3.75. Just add a 0 here. When adding and subtracting, the important thing is just align the decimals. 0 minus 5, you need to borrow. 10 minus 5 is 5. 1 minus 7, we need to borrow. So that becomes 11. 11 minus 7 is 4. There's our decimal. 1 minus 3, we'll need to borrow, becomes 11. 11 minus 3 is 8. And so we have a positive 8.45. And then we have this term with the x, which is unchanged. It's minus 11.25x, which we can see is equivalent to this expression down here. So this choice is also right.